Hello, my friends. Thank you very much for joining us once again here on Kardec Radio. This is Spiritism, a closer look. Luis Lima here, your host for tonight, broadcasting from Orlando, Florida. Tonight, we're going to take a closer look at Spiritist ethics. To do that, I'm going to bring a guest, very special guest. He's at least a second generation Spiritist. Here he is, Sergio Thiessen, one of our great friends. Sergio, how are you?
Hello, Luis. I'm fine. Thank you for your invitation to talk about ethics. I am very happy to see you again, my friend.
Yeah, Spiritist ethics. I think it's the core of Spiritism, right? It's the basis for everything. What can we say about it? What can we say about the Spiritist ethics?
Well, as a spiritist, I would like to remember that we have, when we study Allan Kardec books and contents, that we can think about scientific aspects, mediumship as an example. We can study about religion and religiosity, and we can think about philosophy. So I suppose that when we study Spiritism, we understand what kind of word is this? This is a very difficulty situations of the people in this world on earth, because we are very limited spirits because of our deficiencies, especially moral deficiencies. So we need to understand spiritism in the three important aspects. When we talk about or we think about ethics, this is linked to philosophy, spiritist philosophy. But we can talk about ethics in the scientific aspect and in terms of religion and moral aspects too. So I would like to remember that, especially on earth, because we have so important problems in terms of vices, moral vices, that we need to pay attention in terms of the ethics when we are living here, not only as incarnated ones, but when we are in the spiritual world too, because we are the same. We change our position, but we need the same independently of where we are in those times. So, for example, we need to think about behavior. And when we study or when we think about ethics, we need to put one idea of the ethics as something a guide to our life, because we have family, we live in society, we work in different situations in this world, and we need to think about the ethics. So when we think in terms of spiritist ethics, as it is because we have in Spiritism some guidelines to adapt our lives, our personal lives, day by day, in those suggestions of the good spirits to everyone, because we need to work in our process of evolution in terms of spirituality, in terms of the substitution of our vices by the virtues. This is the process that we need to think about, to understand, and to do in all the opportunities that we have in each one of our reincarnations, including and especially this one.
Yeah, I
So,
think, Sergio, just I wanted to add something which I think is very important that you said. You use the word guidelines. And I think that's the key word. Spiritism does not prohibit anything, does not impose anything on anybody. It has the guidelines for a better life. So thank you for reminding us of that.
thank you, Luis. Because we need these guidelines. Because before Jesus Christ and before Allan Kardec and Emmanuel and André Luiz, we live our lives in the centuries and millenniums, but we present a very difficulty process in terms of step up in terms of moral acquisitions and evolution in terms of spirituality in moral terms. But with the gospel, especially with Kardec, the gospel according to Spiritism, but all of the contents, when we study the relationship between our decisions, our choosing aspects to live during all of the days, the years, and the centuries, we have something like a magnet, the north of the magnet, to observe, to pay attention, and to do some kind of inner enlightenment in something like the ethics, the philosophy of life, the science of the spirituality. I would like to tell you, to remember you. For example, I am a physician. 4 decades and a half working as a physician in Brazil. And we understand medicine from the materialistic paradigm, because including now, many colleagues around the world are working in different countries and cities and hospitals and clinics, looking only to the physical body. And because Spiritism, in a very clear approach and understanding, we know about the soul, we know about the perispirit or spiritual body. And because of reincarnations and because of the past lives, we work in mediumship during many years too. We can find the value of this different comprehension in terms of life. In medicine, for example, when I enter the NIH site in internet and I look for papers of research in medicine from different researchers from each one of the countries and universities and faculties of medicine, I have many and many papers in this frontier: spirituality, religiosity, and medicine. This is a very important space, new space in medicine. And we are dealing during our medical activities in hospitals, in my clinic, and during different congress, for example, in psychiatry, where I can share with my colleagues this kind of approach, including spirituality, mediumship, spiritual world, the spiritual influence in terms of the different illnesses or diseases, not only in terms of mental problems in humanity, but including physically and important problems as, for example, the cancer, the degenerative diseases, acute coronary artery disease, and many others.
Yeah.
So when we include spirituality, we are including in Spiritism some kind of ethics, philosophy, and we understand why we are so with frequently problems in medicine. So we can share, we can link everything, and we need to propose to our patients about Spiritist philosophy. And when we deal with them about mediumship, when we can approach with mediumship the inner aspect from the origin of many diseases, we talk about this in the congress around the world, the best one, and in the clinic with the patients and with the family of them. So ethics is related to all of the big or more important aspects of life. And spiritism, philosophy, science, and religion. Because we are understanding the religion in terms of moral comprehension, in terms of what kind of tendencies that we have, what we need to change in terms of our minds to obtain a different level in our common lives, to, as a vaccine, have moral acquisitions to have the rest of our lives free of many suffering problems because of different diagnoses in medicine. So ethics and behavior, we have one invitation from the good spirits to change everything during our days, years, decades, because when we enter this world again in the new reincarnation, what we need to do by Leon Denis. He talks about we need to be different when we compare the time when we arrive in this world and the time when we go out to the spirituality, to the spiritual realm after the new death, when we complete this time of this new reincarnation. So, gospel, Jesus, good spirits, moral advices from Jesus. Jesus, as a physician, a doctor, prescribing many beautiful recommendations to us. So, we need to understand the importance of the religion in this aspect. So it's difficult to put each one independently of the others. Religion, philosophy, science, in Spiritism, all of this are important. For example, Luis and friends, mediumship, ethics in mediumship work, because mediumship, we can see this in many different people around the world working in the frontier between the physical world and the spirituality. But all the spiritists during the mediumship work, they need to have some aspects to some kind of light in this work. For example, charity in mediumship. We need to understand that the spiritual reality and the human, physically, the physical world, the incarnated people, all of the majority of the cases are constituted of people, spirits, souls with very important deficiencies. So we need to offer the best that we know about the Spiritism in terms of philosophy, science, and religion to help the people. Because when we understand the Spiritist postulates, we can recognize one tendency to the changing behavior. In medicine, it's very clear to us, and we share with our patients about this invitation from God, from Jesus, from the angels, from the superior spirits, because all of them that obtain some kind of evolution, they care everyone, and always they recommend, they suggest to us the changing of our minds to a changing process of our inner reality. And this is something related to ethics. Spiritist gospel, Jesus, in one very nice recommendation to us. When we share with the discarnated ones, we can see the same. When they arrive in the meeting with many moral problems, and the fraternal dialogue, the prayer, the hands in position, the passes, and many other approaches to them. When we talk about the changing pattern of life, we need to share with them beautiful notions in terms of spirituality, and this in terms of changing patterns of behaviors and spirituality and possibilities to uh, uh, be friendly, the people that will help them to a new life in the spiritual reality.
Yeah, let me say two things. I've been highlighting what you said. You already said them, but just make sure everybody gets it. One is Spiritism is unitary. You cannot break in pieces. I'm just interested in the scientific aspect. So I'm just interested in philosophy. So I just want to study this or that. You cannot do this because it breaks down. Then it becomes not Spiritism. It becomes your Spiritism if you do this. Very important. It's unitary. It cannot be broken down, as you said. And I think the other thing that you mentioned is, I think we could say, as far as illnesses and diseases, they are a reflection, and ultimately, they are reflections of our morality, right? The soul still has to grow, and while we don't do that on this planet, we are still having all these diseases and illnesses and all of that. So those two things, I think, they are very important for the audience to understand. Spiritism is complex because it's everything in one pot.
Yeah. I was talking about, Luis, in terms of that we have these main aspects.
Mm-hmm.
But as you know, and as you remember to me just now, for example, when I am working in a mediumship group, trying to help patients, when I open different cases from different uh, countries around the world, this approach is personal.
Mm-hmm.
I will open the case of one patient with lung cancer that are living in the United States of America, for example. I have the name, I have the age, I have the address, and I talk about the case with different doctors and mediums in the group that I work during many years.
Mm-hmm.
And because of mediumship, this is a spiritist group, obviously. So, because of mediumship, I am dealing with the scientific aspect of spiritism.
Mm-hmm.
The mediumship is the main aspect of the spiritist science. The relationship, the dynamics of the relationship, very common in a simple manner, but in others, complex aspects that we find when we are trying to help the patients. And when we enter the spiritual reality or realm of each one case, and then we work by a half hour, 1 hour, trying to understand the reality related to the suffering with the patient.
I don't know what happened. I think we lost him for a minute. But
My patients or patients from my colleagues. I receive many different cases because of Facebook, because of WhatsApp. The people that know about this approach. But in the same time, we talk about life, philosophy, and ethics, and we remember the gospel, the Jesus recommendations in terms of life. So this is Spiritism. This is the sharing of the street process when we are, for example, in this kind of work with the knowledge of the contents of Spiritism. But we can do some kind of reflections or considerations in science, philosophy, ethics, behavior, and religiosity, including nowadays in medicine, in the big congress of psychiatry, when I can share this one with my colleagues from the medical science. So this is a very interesting aspect. And we need, as you know, Luis, we need to talk about this because this is some kind of seeds of light. And in the majority of the cases, in medicine, in hospitals and clinics, my colleagues and many different health professions, they do not understand. They don't know frequently nothing about this.
Mm-hmm.
And we have those seeds to medicine, to life, in ethics, and all of the main important aspects of life, of everyone.
Yeah, we have all the tools. Spiritism gives us all the tools to understand that. As we're going, I think what we need to do, Sergio, is of course our time is up, but I think we need to have you back here several times for several programs, because not only because of Spiritism itself, but you as a physician, you've been to hospitals, you've treated patients, and I'm absolutely sure that you have a million stories that tie in a very interesting form into Spiritism. So I wanted to bring you back here for you to share some of these stories along the way with us for, in the next upcoming programs. I think it's going to benefit all of us knowing all of this, because if we are not in your shoes, per se, if we're not physicians, cardiologists, we don't know these things. But when we get to know, for those who are on the front line of these things, it opens up our perspective greatly. So thank you very much, Sergio. I appreciate your taking the time to do this, and get ready. We're going to call you back here several times. Be sure. Okay. Thank you very much. And
thank you so much, Luis. Thank you. I will stay with you when you invite me, obviously. Thank you.
okay,
God bless you all, my friends.
Thanks, Sergio. And we will be back here next Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Spiritism, a closer look, and you are on Kardec Radio. So we'll see you next time.